warriors to Dao Paleo. Once again, I greet you in my training session. Today, I want to share with you some of the footwork that I use in two-handed spear techniques and some things that I found out that are very useful. So the simplest step is having the support of the back leg, which gives all the power to the hip and of course to the body. And as you can see, I'm already a bit inclined when I look from the back foot till my shoulder. So therefore, it's only enough for me to raise the leg and I already am propelled by the gravity forward. So I do this, I just raise the leg, step forward, and of course, at the end, I keep my leg closer and I can perform a thrust. So simplest step, back and forth, back and forth. And of course, with a thrust, it would look like this. So what would happen if you don't reach it or the opponent is fleeing or something like that? So you could use the longer step. So 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and so on. So it's a half step. I call it a half step because you don't step with the back foot first. So therefore, you always step with the front foot first, and you keep the rear foot always behind, keeping you and propelling you forward. And of course, the same thing to another direction. So step, 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 step. Now, important thing is that I don't just jump. I just propel myself by the force of my back leg, lifting the front leg, and I just stop myself on the front leg and stop it here. So, like this. Now, it's another way that I can propel myself using similar principle, but having a bit of more reach. So it's like a double half step. So when I step here, I fully draw my back leg, and once again I propel myself forward. And the same is going back. I step here, I stop, but I still come back. So I'm not just keeping my leg following me, but I put these legs together and using my momentum create another step. So it looks something like this. So it's important when you have another step, of course, to be prepared that you have to have a space. So the opponent has to be further or fleeing or out of measure or something, that you, after the first step, you switch the legs. It's like a pendulum step. And of course, you could do more than one, but of course, in practice, it's not very feasible, but you make a step, step, step. Now here, when you come back, the same thing. You just synchronize your hands and you step back. And of course, if the opponent would be attacking, you could defend and defend once more and be prepared at the end like this. So 2 steps on the line when the attack is taking place directly on the line. So either half step or double half step. Now, what would happen if you want to attack, of course, to the sides or at an angle which is even more important and more useful in an attack? Because, well, the straightforward attack is the fastest one, but it's the most anticipated one. So there are, I would say, 2 ways of propelling yourself. First of all, I could, instead of stepping front foot first on the straight line, I step front foot to the side of the line, and then I adjust my rear foot so I'm at an angle to the opponent. So something like this. So this is the new line which is at an angle to the opponent. So, and the same is possible to the another side. So I step front and to the side and then adjust my rear foot to attack from that side. And of course I come back with the rear foot. So front foot, rear foot back on the line, front foot, rear foot back on the line. Front foot, rear foot back, front foot, rear foot back. Of course, the same is doable from another side as well. Front foot, back, rear foot, back. Now, what I found out, of course, if I try to keep the very exact, bladed stance, when I move around, I could lose a bit of balance. Because no, there is a momentum to the side. So what I do, I here turn myself a bit more to stop that sideways movement. When I come back, I turn my hip a bit to the center. And when I propel myself to another side, I actually turn the opposite way, turn the hip to another side, and therefore have a bit of a stop here. So I come back, move, turn here, turn here. So turning a bit to the side to stop myself from falling and toppling over. This way, I attacked first and then adjusted my stance. And there's also another way possible that I defend first and then attack. So first of all, I move with my rear foot first to the side and then adjust my front foot for the attack. So I move to the side and attack. I move back on the line. Of course, I could attack. I move back, attack. I move back, attack. I move back, attack, and I move back and attack. Once again, this is the angle of attack, so pointing to the opponent. You could, of course, combine these two because there are two movements. So you could attack when you move with the front foot, and then, of course, when you're moving back on the line, you could defend, you could attack, you could defend, so you could attack and defend here. Or it could be the opposite way, that you defend and then attack, and defend and then attack. Defend and attack, defend and attack. So it depends on the rhythm of the fight. You use either front foot approaching the opponent or rear foot moving a bit away and counter-attacking. So this footwork is very useful for one-on-one fight because there's one direction where the danger is coming from. But also there are some situations that you need to turn around, move around, and of course observe the surroundings and intercept multiple opponents, or after dealing with one opponent, you have to engage another opponent. So therefore, there has to be a way for you to swiftly turn on your axis to face the opponents prepared. So instead of just being there and just turning around on your feet like the Travolta meme, but you could use specific approach, which is turning specifically on the spot. So I will show one example of this. Let's do it this way. So first of all, always move rear foot first, because when you do that, when you move rear foot first, when you finish the turn, you are moving with the front foot, so you can engage in the attack. So once again, I stand on the line, I turn, in this case, to the outside, I put my feet together here, and I continue the turn with this foot in the same place as my rear foot was before. The same is possible turning to the other side. So I turn to the inside, I put my feet together, and I continue my turn, putting my front foot where my rear foot was. So here, 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 here. It's important to start with the hip, here, here. Now, if you want to turn at lesser angles as 180 degrees, so for example, you could turn right angles. In this case, I once again move with my rear foot first, so I prepare it, and I move my front foot for the strike. So I prepare it, and I move front foot for the strike. I prepare, front foot. I prepare, front foot. And of course, you could make it as an exercise, for example, turning all the way around using just one technique. So back, front, back, front, back, front, back, front. And to the other side. Back, front foot, back, front foot, back, front foot, back, front foot. And of course, the same is doable from the other side. So, I hope you liked it. I call you to subscribe to my videos, because I have now set a goal for me to reaching, first of all, 1,000 subscribers, because that would allow me to use other features like polls or messages or having live videos and so on. So therefore, I set this goal and a call for you to help me reach that goal, and of course help this channel grow if you like what I'm doing here. So till the next time, and keep practicing to make it perfect. See you.